Saturday or Sunday, I think, yeah. Good morning. Okay. Everybody ready?
Hey, Governor.
Okay. Hey, Barbara, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Thank you again for the text. I really appreciate that.
Yep, no problem.
I would like to call to order today's meeting for July 13th, 2021 of the State of Nevada Board of Examiners to order. Could I ask the clerk to take the roll, please?
Governor Sisolak.
Here.
Secretary of State Sagaski.
I'm here.
Attorney General Ford.
Here.
Let the record reflect we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving in on item number 2, public comment. This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item on today's agenda, items on the agenda, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment in Southern Nevada? Nope. Do we have any public comment up north?
No.
Is there any phone calls? No.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll close public comment and move on to item number 3, approval of the May 19th, 2021 minutes. May 25th, 2021 minutes and June 8th, 2021 meeting minutes.
You want one motion? Okay.
I'll take one motion for all 3.
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval on all 3 sets of minutes. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That motion passes. Moving on to item number 4, state vehicle purchases and leases.
Good morning. There are 2 requests for vehicles in this agenda item. The first request is from the Board for the Regulation of Liquefied Petroleum Gas to purchase 1 replacement vehicle for $20,000. The vehicle that is being replaced meets the age requirements in the State Administrative Manual, and the Liquid Petroleum Gas Board is self-funded. Are there any questions on this item?
I got one.
We've got a question from General Ford.
Just curious about the highway patrol vehicle that's going to be used by commercial vehicle inspectors. I understand it's going to be a lease from the Carson City Toyota. Only concern is whether the state using this might exceed the yearly mileage allocations of the lease, which I believe could involve additional costs to the state. Wondering if anybody could speak to that.
Okay, that's the second item, which is the request from the Department of Public Safety Highway
Oh,
Patrol.
my apologies.
No worries. Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program to lease 5 vehicles at a cost of $68,357 per year. The term of the lease is 3 years, and as you noted, there is a mileage requirement on these vehicles. The current lease has expired, so they've returned those vehicles, and it is my understanding that none of those vehicles have met that mileage requirement.
Okay. So we have precedent that we should be able to stay up under it, is what it sounds like.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said, so we have precedent showing that we should be able to stay up under the mileage limitations, is what I'm hearing you say.
That is correct.
Very good. I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. Do we, obviously we've run an analysis on leasing versus purchasing vehicles, correct?
We are looking into that for this agency. So the preference would be for them to purchase the vehicles or to do a lease from Fleet Services. Fleet Services at this time does not have vehicles available for long-term purchase and would have to purchase those vehicles. And because of the funding source for the Highway Patrol, there are some other steps that would have to be taken, and that would be, it would take several months to get through the process for the agency to make this purchase, is my understanding. I don't know if anybody from the Highway Patrol is on the line that could answer further questions.
Do we have anybody from Highway Patrol on the phone? It just seems like these are, what, $37,500 to lease them for 3 years. I don't know how much a RAV4 costs, no, you know.
Yeah.
But, okay. Do I have a motion on item number 4, the 2 agency purchases or leases of vehicles?
I'll move approval.
Any discussion on that motion? And seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, request to pay a cash settlement.
And I have a statement, Governor, that I'd like to make, a disclosure
Please.
relating to agenda item 5. Thank you. And while I personally don't have an interest in the matter under consideration in agenda item 5, I must disclose that one of my staff is a member of the Grace Lutheran Church and sits on the board of directors, and I do not feel I can be impartial in this vote, and therefore will be abstaining from this vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that disclosure. Okay,
Okay, item number 5 is a request from the Department of Transportation for approval of a settlement agreement between First Presbyterian Church of Las Vegas, Nevada, doing business as Grace Presbyterian Church, and the state of Nevada in the amount of $18,500,000. This cost would be paid from the Highway Fund, and reimbursement will be sought from the Federal Highway Administration. There are representatives from the Department of Transportation here today to answer any questions.
I appreciate it, Director Brown. You gave me a great briefing on this one, so I'm fully aware of this one and think it's in our best interest, so I don't have any questions. Jennifer?
I just want to get clarification if I could. Secretary Sagaski, you mentioned Grace Lutheran. Just want to be certain that you knew this was Grace Presbyterian. So does your conflict still apply?
It's hard to hear you, Attorney General Ford. I'm sorry.
My apologies. I said that you mentioned, I thought you said Grace Lutheran, but this is Grace Presbyterian. So I wondered if your conflict still applied.
Yes, it does. If I got the wrong name on my disclosure, I apologize for that, but I do know of the church.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion for approval from General Ford. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all abstaining.
I am abstaining.
Yeah, the record reflect, I could have done a roll call there, that Secretary Sagaski abstained on that vote.
And are you voting in favor?
I was an aye, yes, sorry, yeah. Okay, you got that one?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. Item number 6, request for the allocation and disbursement of funds for salary adjustments.
Sections 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Assembly Bill 542 from the 2019 legislative session appropriated salary adjustment funds to the Board of Examiners to cover a 3% cost of living adjustment that was effective July 1st of 2019. These funds were not included in agency budgets. An agency whose actual salaries exceed their budgeted amount due to these COLAs is allowed to request salary adjustment dollars from the Board of Examiners. This item requests access to these funds by the various institutions and accounts within the Nevada system of higher education in the amount of $10,441,690 in general funds. The balance in the general fund salary adjustment account, if these requests are approved, would be approximately $20.3 million, and representatives from NG are available to answer any questions.
Okay, well, I do have some questions on this one. So, how is it that UNR's is $700,000 higher than UNLV when it's smaller? Is it because the salaries are higher, because the faculty are more seasoned? And then why is CSN the lowest, and that's by far the biggest school?
Good morning, Governor. For the record, Andrew Klinger, Chief Financial Officer for Nevada System of Higher Education. Governor, to answer your question, the methodology that's used for each of these is the same, and essentially it depends on the vacancies that they may have at each of the institutions. And so I'm assuming that UNLV had more vacancies and thus could justify less of the dollars. Because we look at what the total budgeted payroll was, we compare that to what their actual payroll was, and then that's adjusted for vacancies as well as the state share of funding.
Okay. And I can appreciate that, but if the difference in just the adjustment is $700,000, how much vacancy do they possibly have that it's that high?
Governor, if you give me 2 seconds here, I can...
Do I have the Chancellor or President Whitfield on the phone?
No, Governor, I think it's just me today.
Okay.
So, Governor, just to maybe give you a run through, so the legislatively approved budget for payroll for UNLV was $237 million. $19.5 million came off for budget reductions. $2.8 million came off for furloughs. A little over $1 million came off for the PEB holiday. And then as you looked at the projected payroll, so the total salary adjustment eligible after you made those adjustments was $213 million, and then excluded costs, which would have been, including, items that were not eligible for that, brought that down. And so the eligible personnel costs were $218 million, and then the projections or the actuals came in at $123.9 million. So I know that's a lot of numbers, and I apologize. I think the simple answer is the number of vacancies at each of the institutions varies. And like I said, the methodology is exactly the same for each of the institutions, and your staff certainly does a great job of going through and verifying the numbers.
Okay, Mr. Klinger, I appreciate it, but I spent 10 years at that system, so I understand how they try to work things sometimes. Give me the side-by-side UNR to UNLV and explain to me the $700,000 difference, please. I don't need the furlough numbers and all that stuff. What is the eligible salary at UNLV versus UNR?
So the eligible number, so for UNR, the eligible number at the 64% is 3.1 million, and their request is 3.1 million. For UNLV, their total eligible amount is 4.1, and their request is 2.4, or the justified request, I suppose.
Okay, so there's a difference between justified and eligible, because I've never seen one of the institutions be eligible for 4.1 and say, you know what, I don't want 4.1, I'll take 2.4.
Appreciate the question, Governor, and UNLV would certainly love to have all of the salary adjustment funds, but based on the methodology, the math just didn't come out that way.
Is there a time sensitivity to this item?
The time sensitivity would be in closing the budgets this fiscal year. So if this were not approved today, we would have an opportunity to bring it back to August. And that would give us sufficient time to close out the fiscal year.
And Governor, this is Andrew Klinger for the record, I would be happy to come back in August and I can give you a more detailed answer to your question.
Yeah, I'm going to hold this one because I have a concern, I guess, that I want the money to follow the students. And I don't know if that's happening here. There's a reporting variance between the institutions or whatnot. I don't know. I mean, they should be eligible for the same per student amount of money depending on the faculty salaries. Now, are the salaries that much higher at UNR?
No, and I don't know, without doing a more detailed analysis, I don't know that it's the level of the salaries. Again, I think it has more to do with the vacancies, but certainly would appreciate the opportunity to go back and review it and give you better answers to your questions.
Okay. Unless there's an objection by one of the members, I'm going to bring this one back. Secretary, are you okay with that?
I am, Governor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll bring that back, Mr. Klinger, and I'd like a simple explanation on this without all of your, throwing those numbers in there, complicating it. I want to know why UNLV, UNR, and CSN don't seem to be in line with the student ratios.
Will do, Governor.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Moving on to item number 7, approval of proposed leases.
There are 6 leases in agenda item 7 today for approval by the board. Are there any questions on any of these items?
I do not have any questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Not here.
Nope. Secretary?
I don't have any, but Governor, would like to again thank your staff for answering our questions and giving us information, talking to my staff. So again, they're doing a great job. Thank you.
They are, I appreciate that. Thank you. Do we have a motion on item number 7?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, approval of proposed contracts.
There are 59 contracts in agenda item 8 today for approval by the board. Are there any questions on any of these items?
I don't know about number 1. I'm kidding. He's sitting behind General Ford here. I'm just giving Bill a hard time. I do not have any questions on the contract summary. Do Secretary Sagaski, you have any?
I mean, I don't know about number 1 either.
Yeah, see, we got a lot of questions on item number 1, just for the record, or maybe we should take that one separately. Do we have any questions, Secretary? No?
I have none, Governor.
Okay, we have a motion.
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval on item number 8, approval of proposed contracts. Any discussion? Hearing seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 9, approval of work plan.
There is one work program, or work plan rather, under item 9 for approval by the board this morning. Are there any questions on this item?
I do not have any questions on this, and I want to echo what Secretary Sagaski said, that I really appreciate you taking the time to work with us ahead of time on our questions so that we can facilitate and get through a lot quicker. So thank you for that. Do we have any questions on the work plan?
None here. Move approval.
Hearing none, we got a motion for approval. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 10, approval of proposed master service agreements.
There are 7 master service agreements under agenda item 10 for approval by the board. Are there any questions on these items?
I do not have any questions on this. Again, I'm just going to ask for a clarification in case somebody asks. Item number 8, Thrive Wellness of Reno. That has nothing to do with the cannabis dispensary, does it?
Number 6, Thrive Wellness of Reno is for ongoing mental health services.
Some people would think it's.
Right.
I won't say it, though. I don't- can't say it. You're not seeing a connection there, right?
I would have to
Governor,
read.
this is Barbara Sagaski. Are you talking about number 7, the master service agreement, number 7?
6.
No, master service agreement number 6, Thrive Wellness in
Oh, okay.
Reno. They've got several, Thrive has several marijuana dispensaries. But that's not listed at all in this.
I did not see that on there at all. That would have been a red flag for me, but I
Yeah.
didn't see that. But I did want to make a comment on 7.
Okay, go ahead on 7. I'm sure 6 is no problem. Go ahead on 7.
Number 7, I would just like to thank Capitol Police. I talked to my criminal investigators about what they went through and what's been going on over the last few years, and have a better understanding of that amount of money that was allocated and that they didn't realize the increases. And I understand, and I will approve these master service agreements with the reluctance on number 6 because I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to thank the Capitol Police for all they've done, the training, all that they put themselves through here in Nevada. So thank you, Governor.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you saying it. Don't want to make a disparaging remark about Thrive Wellness, but I know some folks consider that a wellness product, and I'm sure that's not what this has to do with.
Governor, Thrive Wellness is for behavioral and community-based health services. This company that we are looking at here on agenda item number 6. So it
Got it. Kyle just brought up a thing on that too. So, okay, so it's satisfied my concerns. Do I have a motion for approval on item number 10?
So moved.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Information item, clerk of the board contracts.
There are 75 contracts under the $50,000 threshold that were approved by the clerk of the board between May 18th, 2021 and June 21st, 2021. I would note that contract number 74 says that it is with the Board of Examiners statutory contingency account. That is incorrect, and that contract is in fact with the Attorney General's office, and it is between the Attorney General's office and Weinberg, Wheeler, Hudgens, Dunn, and Dial LLC. So I just wanted to put that on the record. Are there
Yeah,
any
it sounds
questions?
like a law firm when they put all those names in there like that.
Yeah. Are there any questions on any of these contracts?
Do we have any questions? I do not. Nope, we do not, and that's an information item. That completes the 1 through 11. Moving on, item number 12, public comment. This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody in Las Vegas for public comment? No shit. Anybody in Carson City for public comment?
Not seeing anyone in the room.
Okay, do we have anybody on the phone?
And Governor, can I make a statement at the end?
You certainly can, please.
I just wanted to thank the Attorney General for bringing up the fact that it is Grace Presbyterian Church, and I wanted to make sure that was on the record.
Got it.
So thank you.
Please make a record of that for the minutes and that abstention on behalf of the Secretary of State. Okay, hearing and seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you so much. I don't need to take a motion anymore. They've corrected me so many times.